Brazilian President Lula da Silva has decreed 6 new indigenous reserves, banning mining and restricting commercial farming there.
Here's a summary of the article.
Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has decreed 6 new indigenous reserves, banning mining and restricting commercial farming there. Indigenous leaders welcomed the move, but said more areas needed protection. Lula, who took office in January, has pledged to reverse policies of his far-right predecessor Jair Bolsonaro, who promoted mining in indigenous lands. Lula, who previously served as president in 2003 to 2010, signed the demarcation decree on Friday, the final day of a gathering of indigenous people from around the country in the capital Brasilia. The presidential decree grants indigenous people exclusive use of natural resources on the reserves. While hailing Lula's decision, some indigenous leaders pointed out that his government had vowed to recognize 14 new territories. He repeatedly argued that by mining in indigenous territories, Brazil, which relies heavily on imported fertilizers, could build more of its own potassium reserves.
This post received a score of 31,000, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Bolsonaro would never.
Even worse than that, Bolsonaro deliberately went the other way to enact genocidal policies against the Brazilian First Nations.
And send in germ-carrying missionaries during COVID. May he fester in all 9 circles of the Catholic hell he believes in. One of them being the goddess of gluttony according to the game Dante. Some blob-like creature shitting and puking on him. But he'd like that actually. The freak.
Right after he lives it up in Florida while talking with our resident fascists.
Senior home for dictators. May in the end he'll be playing canasta and lawn darts with Suharto, Saddam, Pol Pot, Pinochet, Mother Teresa, Hitler, Noigueira Franco, Bush, Reagan, Thatcher, Castro, Batista, in some hellscape.
Did I miss something, or why is Mother Teresa on that list?
Read up on what she really did. From peer review sources.
I just did. What the fuck? That's some heavy stuff.
By peer review sources? He means Christopher Hitchens and no one else.
This should be reported high lol.
That's awesome.
Is this even real? I thought good news didn't happen anymore.
As a Brazilian, Lula winning felt like a miracle.
Always good to see the indigenous gain recognition.
This is awesome, but a bit small compared to the vastness of the Amazon, only about 2,343 square miles. A good start for sure, but hopefully more is to come. Indigenous people don't live in the entire Amazon, and the land tracts reserved for them are already very vast compared to the amount of people living inside, because they need the space for hunting and other activities, as well as isolation in some cases. More reserves are needed, but bringing up the total expanse of the Amazon is a pointless comparison.
Ecologically speaking, it's better to have vast untouched areas of land versus several small patchworks of untouched land, as they function a lot like islands in the sense of isolated populations. Either way, this is good, but it can always be better.
There's just so much that the rainforest does for regional and global health of ecosystems, including beneficial elements for humans and our communities. Ecologists can't comprehend the ramifications of how Bolsonaro's slicing and dicing of the rainforest has and will have, and Bolsonaro and the corrupt industries had totally disregarded the little we do know.
Please save and preserve what's left of the Amazon rainforests down there. I really hope that happens.
You love to see it. Very hopeful news, energy coming out of Latin America right now.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.